Hello students, welcome to the class of Commerce ISC class 12. Today in this lecture we are going to start a new chapter. Very interesting, simple, easy and short chapter. Chapter number 4, banking latest trends. Usually question comes for 4 mark from this chapter in the board examination. So as the chapter is very short, you have to pay more attention. I hope all the students are staying back at home, following the orders properly, not wasting time and doing sincere studies and their household work. Okay, so today we are going to start this chapter, banking latest trends. Before I start this chapter, let me tell you, because you are young generation students, you may not know completely about the banking system in India. Earlier, the work was done manually. All the banks were not computerized, and because of that, the transaction processed was very slow, and it was very time consuming. Even nowadays, you find nowadays days means present context. Before the lockdown, you might have seen uh, people standing in line for withdrawal and depositing of money. So this is what manually done, isn't it? And when we do it electronically, like through ATMs, earlier ATMs were not there. Only through cash counters money was deposited and withdrawn. So it was very time consuming. So that's why there are so many ATMs. Around 91,000 ATMs are there in India. This is the old data as given in your book. Now this banking system has undergone a great change. Okay, all the system, previous system has been improvised and from manual to computerized, and now CBS branches are established. What is this CBS branches? Core banking system. That means all the banks are linked with each other with a centralized processing. This has helped all the bank staffs and public as well. Now you can do online transactions as many of the students are doing, but earlier no such options were available. So these are the latest trend which came in banking system. You have seen lot of trends, you have seen a lot of changes, isn't it? See, now you are sitting at home and studying, taking lectures online. This is what latest trend in teaching, isn't it? And now when days will pass, years will pass, new technology will be coming, and you will be availing new technology. The world is changing in that manner, isn't it? No one had ever thought like 20 years back, like studies will go online, isn't it? So there has been change in all the fields. Great changes are taking place. So we are going to discuss the changes in banking system. Is this clear to you? So as I told you, when earlier money was withdrawn or deposited in bank, and it took a lot of time to for the transaction to process. Now there are so many facilities available in the bank. Now apps are available, isn't it? You can download applications from Google of the bank, and then you can sit at home and transact. This is latest trend. So first trend is RTGS. What is this? This is online transfer of fund, online transaction of money. When you want to transfer money from one bank to another bank account. Okay, like you are having account, it is important to have a account for RTGS. For an example, you want to send money to Kanyakumari, so you can do it within no time. That's why it is RTGS, real time gross settlement. Is this clear? So you can transfer money in any part of the country from one place to another place within 30 minutes. Every transaction will be processed under RTGS. Okay, since no time is being wasted and high volume payment can be done easily, that's why it is termed as RTGS. Is this clear? Now there's a timing, there's a timing for the operation of the bank. Same way RTGS timing are mentioned, that is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday to Friday, and on Saturday for 3 hours it is in operation, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. It may change according to banks, but this is the general timing. Okay, now what are its feature? RTGS are available only in CBS branches, centralized banking system. Actually in India now at present time, since this book is written a long back and no amendments are being made, though almost all the banks are CBS, in case only few in very remote areas. Otherwise this facility is available in most of the banks. Okay, and as you go to bank you can do this RTGS with, there won't be any time consumption. Only you have to go and they will do the RTGS as soon as the service is free. Okay, so the transactions are processed individually, means you go to bank, you ask for RTGS and the bank staff will do the RTGS. Okay, so what is the minimum amount? There is a limit of minimum amount of rupees 2 lakh. That means amount which is less than 2 lakh will not be processed under RTGS. That's why this system is used mainly for high volume payment. Why? Because if you will carry cash for making payment, it is risky, na? So directly you can transfer the money from your bank account to the bank account in which you have to make the payment. Is this point clear? See, the transaction can be made within 30 minutes. Okay, everything, the message will come in your mobile. Okay, and once you do RTGS, it becomes irrevocable. उसको रोका नहीं जा सकता. Okay, now one another way of transferring money. See, in RTGS there is certain amount which is charged by the bank as their service charges. It is around 35 rupees in Bank of India. These charges may vary from bank to bank. Okay, and there won't be much difference. Okay, now National Electronic Fund Transfer. This is also another way of transferring fund or transferring money from one bank to another bank. Now in NEFT you can transfer money by depositing cash as well. Means if you don't have your bank account, you can still transfer by depositing cash. Okay, but the maximum limit will be 49,999 rupees, not more than that. Is this clear? Yeah, definitely. Other bank account, the person to whom you are making the payment should have the bank account. Otherwise, how the amount will reach, isn't it? A person in NEFT may not have the account who is transferring, but the receiver should have, na? Then only he will receive the money. Otherwise, how he will receive the money? Okay. Yeah, in RTGS it is not required. What? Cash deposit is not, the option of cash deposit is not available. That means you need to have bank account when you want to transfer money through RTGS. So what is the difference between NEFT and RTGS? Wait student, we are coming to that point. Okay, let us study the feature first, then we will move on to the difference. So there is a particular period of time in which RTGS is done, and it is not done on real basis. Means a time is allotted and up to that time you have to wait for the transaction. That means it uh, time is being consumed while making transfer through NEFT. Is this clear? So what are the working hour? It operates in batches. Means time is, particular time is given. In RTGS you will go and ask for RTGS, you have to fill the form, and as soon as you fill the form they will make the payment. Okay, but in case of NEFT they will wait for a certain time. That means they collect 2-3 forms. After that they make the fund transfer. Okay, not immediately, it take time for transfer NEFT. Okay, so during Monday to Friday 7 times a day you can do NEFT, and the timing is 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. clear? And on Saturdays only 6 times. Is this point clear to you? So timing is given, in that time only you can transfer the money. Now what are the features of NEFT? So all the banks in which you want to transfer the money should be NEFT available. That means that option should be available to the bank. Then even as I told you, without having bank account you can transfer the money. Is this point clear to you? So these features I have already told you, that the maximum amount, if you, in case you are not having a bank account. Is this point clear? Like you can have cash and deposit and the money will be transferred. Now if you are having a bank account in the bank from which you are doing NEFT, then there is no limit of minimum or maximum. But in case there is no bank account, the maximum limit is 49,999. That means 49,999. Okay, in case of NEFT you don't get foreign remittance. That means you don't get money from foreign, and nor the currency. Foreign currency is not been transacted through NEFT. NEFT, that's why the name is a NEFT, national, and for national, that means within the domestic territory of a country. And there will be certain charges. Charges are mentioned here: up to 1 lakh, 5 rupees plus service tax on the amount. Then above 1 lakh and up to 2 lakh, 15 rupees, this is fixed charge plus the service tax. And above 2 lakh rupees, 25 plus service tax. And the person who receives the fund does not pay any charge. Okay, so you can distinguish between both NEFT and RTGS. NEFT transactions are settled in batches, whereas RTGS are settled continuously. That means once you go in the bank you can do RTGS. So in NEFT no minimum value is there, but in RTGS minimum value is 2 lakh rupees, isn't it? And how many times a day transaction takes place in NEFT? Yes, correct. Six times on Saturdays. Here is it is wrong printed, I think, in your book. It is 7 times on weekdays and 6 times in on Saturdays. Is this clear? Here it is mentioned, see, 7 times a day, and on weekdays 6 times, isn't it? So you make the correction in the book. Here it is 7 times on weekdays and 6 times on Saturday. Is this clear? Now, electronic banking. What is this electronic banking or e-banking? When the banking transaction is carried out with the help of computer, or in today's time you can say with the help of computer, with the help of app and internet facility, you can do the transaction. Only the thing is that you should know how to operate, isn't it? That means you should be aware of the technology. Is this clear? That means computer system means a computer and a hardware and modem and internet connection which is available on mobile. Okay, so when you do transaction through mobile, that is also e-banking. Is this clear? Means where I'll just show you. See, my dear students, like you are using my classes, online classes. You are studying. Few may be studying with the help of mobile. Most of the students will be studying with the help of mobile, and few will be with the help of computer, isn't it? Okay, I think you got my point. So what are the features of e-banking? There is no face-to-face contact, like from 2 months we are not in face-to-face contact, isn't it, my dear students? Then for operating you need to have computer or mobile, both the client and the bank. Obviously, my dear students, obviously bank should be okay. But when you go to bank or when you have an account, you have to fill the form, and in that form you have to enable in internet banking. Is this clear? The options are available when you fill the form of the bank. If any of the student have filled the form previously, he or she may know about this. Okay, you have to fill the e-banking option in the bank form, and you should know the e-banking technology. Okay, what are the benefits to the customer? Anytime from anywhere they can do the transaction. Okay, anytime and anywhere, isn't it? And it becomes easier. Recording of e-transaction, you when you do the transaction online, you get the details in your bank, in your mobile of the bank, isn't it? And the person feels the security, because like if you want to make the payment, you can go and through your mobile you can make the payment immediately to the bank account of the person whom you are transferring the money. No need to carry cash, isn't it? So it is a safe method, and this facility increases customer satisfaction. Now many of the users will be using internet facility for making payments or for the transfer of the money, like you used to purchase goods online. Now what are the benefits of e-banking to the bank? The banks get competitive advantages, whose service are good. People used to go to that bank, isn't it, to have more and more account of the bank, who provide quick, fast, easy and reliable services. Okay, now it reduces the workload of the branches. That means you will not find customers standing in long lines, isn't it? Usually in India it happens, na, there are big number of customer standing outside the bank for their chances. So it reduces online transactions, reduces e-banking, reduces this hodgepodge. So it helps the bank to expand. Okay, now what are the disadvantages? So e-banking suffers from the following limitations. What are that? You should have the technology. That means every person cannot afford mobile internet, isn't it? Poor people, how they can afford? It's costly, na? See, if minimum for 1 month charges of internet is 200 rupees. So how a average person who is earning the livelihood will have a good mobile? Okay, in India the condition is not that much good in terms of technology, and you know need to operate, you should know all the functions and uses of technology. Otherwise what you will do, the client may or the customer may get into fraudulent practices. Okay, there are many messages coming, as you know, to invest here and there, and people commit frauds. So no need to transfer money unknowingly, isn't it? There may be like in transaction is not processed sometime due to technical mishap, isn't it? Once I was filling form, online payment was made, and due to some problem the payment was deducted from my bank account but not reached to the merchant bank. Okay, so it was recovered after 45 days. So it happens, and there can be error, wrong transfer of money in the wrong account if the person is not well aware of the uses of technology. Okay students, so these are the disadvantages of e-banking. So in the next class we'll process more topic of this chapter. By that, till that time, have a good day.